Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. You know where you are, the 9 at 9 with me, Tigo. And if you're sitting right there, you know what's about to happen. Or do you? I've always asked the question, what's holding you back? So why not bring in one of my good friends and he can tell you exactly what's holding you back? So you want to sit right there because we'll be right back.
Sir Kaya Redford is the creator of Top Producing Faster to Your Wealth and Freedom. As a success coach for Fortune 500 companies for over 20 years, Kaya trains the top 1% of producers, leaders, entrepreneurs, influencers, and salespeople all over the world to increase your production and help you make more money. Not just commission to commission, but actually creating your wealth and freedom faster. He specializes in the banking industry, real estate. He has trained the #1 Century 21 office in the world and the #1 agent in the world, Marty Rodriguez. He trains the mortgage and the financial services industry too. Kaya trains the top teams in WFG, New York Life, and PHP, as well as several network marketing companies. Sir Kaya was recently knighted by Prince Rafael of Spain.
Knight of the Royal Order of Constantine the Great.
And was also honored by the United Nations with the Humanitarian Award.
Kaya Redford! Wow!
As a trainer's trainer in neuroscience and neurolinguistic programming, Kaya coaches primarily on mindset, communication skills, sales and influence skills and strategies, habits, behaviors, and taking massive action.
I'm gonna get to it exactly what we need to do.
Kaya is also a miracle-minded coach, personally trained and certified by presidential candidate and New York Times best-selling author Marianne Williamson, and been a featured guest speaker on OWN, Oprah Winfrey Network, Recap Show 3 times. Kaya trains and certifies speakers, coaches, and trainers all over the world to do what he does.
You get closer to the goal.
Like they're with you.
The energy that you exude, I just can't wait till we share the platform together. The mark of greatness is upon you.
Let's welcome to the stage, Sir Kaya Redford.
Hey, everybody. Now, I have had the opportunity and been blessed to be a part of some major events over the last few years, one of which was a knighting investiture where I actually got to meet people that were knighted. Wow. In 2023. And one of them is becoming a good friend of ours. Sir Kaya Redford is here. His big thing is to help people get to wealth and freedom faster and also answer the question, what's holding you back? Hey, brother, are you out there?
I am here. What's up, Tigo?
What's happening?
You are so good. I had my phone in my hand. I was filming you. I just want to say for you viewers, when I first saw Tigo lead an event with Don and Melinda Boyer, she has a presence and an energy on stage. I just felt like I needed to know her. And here we are a few days later, having a podcast together.
We don't share drinks, we share podcasts, right?
Exactly.
How are you? How did you get into wealth and freedom building in the first place? What made you decide to go in that direction? Because you could have went anywhere with your career.
Absolutely. Well, we all have a story, right? And
yeah,
mine, I grew up with a lot of challenges. So my dad was a petroleum engineer and he was a workaholic. It's a very stressful industry, stressful business. I was born in Nebraska, and then 6 months old as a baby, we then moved to Algeria in Africa, a third world country. My mom there, my older brother and sister, and my mom didn't speak the language, didn't know anybody, and my dad was always gone. So what happened is, over a short period of time, she went through so much stress, she started to drink, right, to suppress her frustration, being in a third world country, having no support structure, knowing nobody, and the father figure gone. So my dad was a workaholic, my mom became an alcoholic, and a lot of horrible things happened at a very young age that left me in my 20s extremely blocked. So if you've seen the movie Sounds of Freedom, and you know the type of abuse that happens, basically, long story short, my dad entrusted male figures while my dad was gone to take care of the family, and these male figures were psychopaths and did all kinds of terrible things. So I grew up in my 20s and 30s very stuck. I survived the trauma of my childhood, but I was very stuck, had no purpose, no direction, no self-worth, no self-esteem. I used to stutter. People are shocked to this day when I tell them that I used to stutter. And I was very blocked until one day I wound up going into a seminar where a person had a couple hundred people in the room, and he said, everybody just close your eyes and visualize your future. He was helping us try to see the future. And all I could see was more misery. I was married at the time. I had 2 young baby boys. I had no way of, no purpose, no direction, no way of making money. And I was just very frustrated. So I'm actually that statistic that we hear about in the seminar world of that red flag person who leaves the room, who doesn't stay to face themselves, and leaves the room and goes on even more turmoil in their life. So I left, and it wasn't until 2-3 years later that someone nudged me and said, have you seen The Secret? And I'm like, The Secret? What's The Secret?
Right.
I thought it was a movie with whatever actors in it.
Right.
And he kept telling me about it. And then eventually I popped the DVD in, and I saw this tall, skinny white guy, which most of us, God bless his soul, have now known to the person, Bob Proctor.
Bob Proctor, yeah.
Bob, that was my first breakthrough that led me into coaching and led me into, Bob said I'm paraphrasing, he said, you create your experience of reality based on your mindset. And so he said, also, if you have a dream, if you ever daydream about something, if you ever wish for something greater in your life, he said, you wouldn't even have that dream. That dream would not even be given to you if you didn't have the seeds of potential to achieve it. And I realized that I was very stuck, but I would always dream of a different existence. So I ended up working with Bob Proctor. I ended up becoming, stuttering and all, going through the program. And I ended up studying, even after Bob, neuro-linguistic programming, neuroscience, timeline therapy, hypnosis. And I just became a seminar personal growth junkie. And then one day I had a little mastermind, because Bob says, get a little mastermind together. And I'm still battling my own limiting beliefs, my own self-worth. I got a phone call one day from a person that worked at a very big, I'll say it, New York Life, a very big life insurance company, and said, are you Kaya? And I'm like, yeah. Do you have a Gary in your training? You do a seminar, you do something, right? And I said, Gary, oh yeah, I have a Gary. He said, can I just talk for you for 2 minutes? Because we were literally going to let him go. Like, he hasn't produced in 6 months. And now he's number 2 in the office.
Wow.
What exactly are you doing? And I'm just confounded, because I don't even know what I'm doing, why it's working for me and other people. And then they invite me to the office to do, and I'm so nervous. I'm speaking to a Fortune 500 company. What am I even doing here? I've never created success in my life, and I don't even, and then so I ended up speaking there. And then 3 months later, I got another phone call from someone else saying, did you hear what happened to the office you trained? And I'm like, oh no, what happened? I screwed up. what did I do now? And they said they went #1 in the nation.
Nice. See, that's what I'm
And
talking
so
about.
I started getting invited to companies. And next thing you know, I'm training the #1 Century 21 office, the #1 agent in the history of the real estate, Marty Rodriguez, and #1 teams and #1 offices. And then it was just like the universe giving me a memo that you are not your past, that your past gives you so much fuel that if you turn your pain into your, people say pain into profit. I'm less interested in profit, even though we all want to make money. For myself, I'm more interested in transforming people's lives. And if we can all win together, then, you know, that's really my purpose in life. So that's kind of how I never knew I was ever going to become a coach. This just kind
You're
of just
amazing. So I got to ask you a question, because I started as a child too. Okay. And people don't believe it, but I did. I had the worst time with the word linoleum, and you have no idea. But, you know, as you look back over your life and look at where you are now, you're knighted, you know, you're one of the most successful coaches in the world. It's like, what would you tell that younger you that went through all that tragedy, you know, about what's coming?
You know, not everybody is super spiritual and open to God, or we could call it the universe. Or I would like to suggest that even if a person is an atheist, you might even think of this as your future self, just like you said, Tigo, right? You said, what would you today, who you are today, say to your past self? So I'm speaking as the future self today, looking back at me when I was 20, and what would I advise me? I think perhaps one of the biggest breakthroughs, and Les Brown, dear friend of both of ours, he talks about it all the time. He says, if when you're down, you're really down. If you're facing up, if you can look up,
You can look up, you can get up. Yes, sir.
We get to start learning, reading books, and making personal growth a priority, because the mind, what we discover is the mind is so powerful that, right, Deepak Chopra says the mind has, on average, anywhere from 60 to 90,000 thoughts per day. And they're the exact same thoughts we had yesterday. So we're just regurgitating the same thoughts. And so when we learn that you can focus on the crap, the trauma, the pain, or you can focus on the vision and where you're going, I think the power of the focus is so huge. I think for people like myself at that time when I went through so much, you're in so much pain, so you're focused on woe is me. You're in the victim position. And a victim position, if you want to know, typically these are the 4 red flags, or the 4 things that you could become aware of that tells you that you are sitting in a victim position. Number 1, the victim is always blaming someone else. I blamed my dad. You were gone. I blamed my mom. What were you doing? You were drinking, and you allowed all this crap to happen to us as kids. You were just completely checked out and completely gone. And so I carried that resentment for so many years until I realized I'm always going to stay stuck for as long as I can blame. So can a 10-year-old blame their parents? Yes. Can a 15-year-old? Yes. Can a 20-year-old? Yes. What happens when you turn 30 or 40 or 50? How old do you need to be where you now take ownership of your own life and there's no one left to blame? You now know that you could pick up the books, you could go to therapy, you could get coached, you could create the dream of your life. And it's not that anybody held you back in your past. It's that you can dig yourself up out of any hole if you have the intention to focus on your vision. So for me, that was the big thing. So number 1, blaming. Number 2, denying. Most people are in denial, right? What is Joe Rogan and a lot of incredible people say? I just heard his podcast a few days ago. He says most people, and he's talking about men as well, most men, he says, most people are living lives of silent desperation. So we're in pain and we're in denial. Like, we're not telling anybody. We're not reaching out for a lifeline. We're suffering in silence, in misery. And so getting out of denial and saying, look, this is where I'm at and I'm going to change it. The third thing is justifying. This is so huge. I spent so many years giving reasons and excuses why I couldn't be successful, right? Didn't have the background. My dad was always gone, didn't teach me nothing. My mom, if you either give reasons and excuses, and we've heard this a few times, or you get results. So for as long as I want to give reasons and excuses why I don't have the life I want to have, I can now not get results. I can't have both. So what we always say as coaches, look, you can argue for your limitations, but I'm not going to buy into your limitations. The moment you give up your limitations and don't voice them, don't focus on them, you can now change your direction and focus on results. So that's the third thing, excuses, which is a disease that I call excusitis. And the fourth thing is minimization. Another red flag. So it's blaming, it's denying, it's justifying, and then the fourth thing is minimizing, where there's a problem, but what a person sometimes does is minimizes. Oh, it's not that bad,
Yeah, definitely.
My house isn't foreclosed yet. My car might get repossessed tomorrow, but it's still in the driveway. Oh, how are the kids? It's not that bad. Two of them are on drugs. One of them still talks to me though, but I give him money. I think he does drugs too. I mean, it's not that bad. How's the marriage?
Wow.
Oh, it's not that bad. We're not divorced yet. Oh, how's the cancer? Oh, it's not that bad. I'm not dead yet. So we take these problems and we minimize them like they're nothing, and we stay stuck. So I think the most powerful message is we get out of being what we call victim or at effect, and we get to step into cause and dig deep, right? Dig deep. I truly believe, so some of you may know of the companies we coach and train. So we train all the top, real estate companies, mortgage companies, financial service companies, network marketing companies, and companies that have products and services to sell. And guess what the biggest
Brother, you are amazing. You are absolutely amazing. We have got to have you come on, again and again and often, because we can go deep, deep, deep every single time. Every single time. I know I have somebody else waiting to do an interview, but I don't want to leave without you at least telling them, how do they get into your program? Where do they go? What do they do?
All right. So you actually have a free gift for you, right? So if you would like to have tools for you to be even more successful and learn how to communicate and sell to the 4 different personality types, if you would like to also have a consultation call, free call with someone on our team to support you. And also, if you would like to join a free Facebook group where you can learn from the top 1% in all of these companies, so you can learn the strategies and what makes them successful. It's a private, closed Facebook group. All that, the value of that is $997, and I'm going to give it to you all for free. All you need to do is text the word TOP, T-O-P, to 26786. Just text the word TOP, T-O-P, to 26786. 26786. Again, TOP, T-O-P, to 26786, and you will get instantly a couple of those gifts. And over the next 3-4 days, you'll get the rest of the gifts. You can also find us on the landing page website called tpfaster.com. tpfaster.com. We do a live event every 3rd Saturday of the month. So
you're amazing, brother. I want to thank you so much for being on. Please come back. Come back frequently. Come back often. I love your energy. I love the information you share and the fact that you're just so transparent. You're the absolute best.
Tigo, thank you so much for all you do. I will follow you all the way to transforming as many people's lives together.
You're amazing. All right, everybody, you know what to do. If you didn't write it down, if you can't remember it, you know where to find it. Go to tigodirect.com, type in Sir Kaya, type in wealth, type in top, T-O-P. You'll find his information. You'll find out about his courses. And of course, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I want you to come back next time. And as always, I'm Tigo. I'll talk to you next time.